All right, I am going to cover the Magnum Mont Blanc. I may try to pick this guy. It's been a while. So, biggest deal with Magnum Mont Blanc is, as you can see right there, there's that restriction to the keyway. That restriction to the keyway, there's not just one of them in there. There's one deeper back. So I'm going to see if I can find myself a Sharpie so this shows up a little bit better. Wish I had a much larger one. Okay, so key. And the Magnum, this key does not have incredibly great tolerances. So let's say right there. That one's right there. Right there. All right. So we got these spots here. That is another restrictor. Now, when we look at the key, you can see this piece right here. So there's a restrictor plate and there's a 100% lift. So the highest lift you can go is that pin right at the very front. I want to say that it's pin 1 to restrictor plate 4. And so we've got high lift, no lift, high lift, restrictor plate. And then towards the back, we've got 2 0 lifts down here, a nudge, and a medium lift on the very last pin. So what's happening here is that instead of on another type of lock where you would have a sidebar, so if you put a sidebar right there and each one of these had a gate, and so they had different heights they had to go to, you would start to feel core rotation or some type of movement inside of when those hit the sidebar. So as that hit, you'd get a little click, all of that. They don't have that. So what these have is they have a gate, and then on the core, at every single one of these wafers, they have a ball bearing. So it's not commonly connected. So you can pick on each one of these and you can correct them individually. You're not going to screw up the sidebar. It's very difficult to correct and to slip things out, but you could do it. The thing is that there's such terrible tolerances here that with these 2 0 lifts, I don't have to go to the end of the keyway down at that spot at all. With a super high lift and a 0 lift, I don't have to worry about that guy. I just have to worry about lifting that one. Then I've only got 3 up top. That's a high lift, that's a nudge, and that's a medium lift. So realistically, I'm only picking 4 pins here when it comes to these wafers. Now, in comparison, because this is a brown level lock, I'm in the middle of doing the, what do you call it? The progressive pinning here. So this is a Medico. We've got 2 pins that are missing because I am progressively picking this one right now. And you will see right here where the pins are missing, goes all the way in. It does not go all the way in at all over here. It might wiggle a little bit and cause the other side to lift, but that sidebar, you will get motion, you'll get a lot of feedback out of that sidebar. And so I'll show you with one of the pins. It's one of my favorite things about progressive pinning this particular lock is that it's so easy to get it open and closed. It would be terrible trying to do something like this with you know, a multi-lock or something. So here is the pin. And you can see the little dot there. So you're trying to hit that tiny little dot, and it's pretty tricky. So tolerances are not great. Tolerances are very good. Sidebar, because the tolerances are really good. No sidebar, individual pick, 2 restrictor plates. So fun part about it is that they shoved ball bearings into the screws, so you don't have to gut this guy. But every time I've seen somebody gut one, the ball bearings just they go running. It is an interesting pick, but at the end of the day, I believe that I was able to do this guy out of hand, and I think it took less than 1 minute. So I can give him a shot. I have not picked this guy in a few weeks. So wedge tension in between the teeth. And then I am looking at definitely saw myself lift pin number 1 there. It's maybe a dud. I may not be able to get it, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm pretty sure that I hit wafer number 1 on that's supposed to be a 0 lift. Yep. Looks like I finally at least remembered which direction. Oh, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I am in the wrong direction. Feels like I got it on one side. And there we go. So we've got a turn on this guy that will move. Yeah, these locks, they're all right, but this thing is going to be misbehaving the next few times I play with it. Not a bad lock, but again, not great tolerances. It's weird that it ended up being brown, but I believe the reason it's brown is because of the lack of sidebar. So making it each wafer independent means that you don't get feedback. Unfortunately, with the way that these keys are set up, if you look at it basically from the center line, if it looks like the cuts are going down to the center line, they're probably zero lift. So, and then don't forget that there's one wafer that is just completely not even there. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good glimpse of this, but no. So visibly, I can actually see the brass color right in here. Oh yeah, maybe you can. So that is where the wafer is, and then right next to it where another wafer should be, there's nothing. So yeah, interesting lock. Like I said, I threw one out to the world, so I wanted to make sure that there was some information, a little bit more information that I could shed on this. Really, if you get a chance, watch some of the people that have broken them down. It's interesting the level of effort that went into making this lock, and then it's also a little concerning that they put that much effort into making the lock, but with such bad tolerances that this is probably one of the easier ones that you can do in the brown belt category. So good luck, enjoy it. Hopefully the lock I threw out there gets around.